Okay, hi everybody. So I'm back so I can show you how to take apart a lobster. I know you now learned by our Mother's Day video, the family Mother's Day video, how easy it is to cook one so that you can enjoy the delicacy of it, but you may not know how to open it yet. Let me show you how to crack one open. So here we go. It's going to take me a minute to get it down onto the plate. There you go. And here we are. So at the table I have a small fork like this to get out the tiny parts, and this is to really pick if I need to. And here's my crackers. And I always start in the same place. I always take the leg off, and I always break the leg in two right here. And this is the first time I use my crackers, are right here on this joint here. I go on both sides and I just break it open. And let me pull my pail this way so I can throw my stuff in there. So here's the first time I use this. As you can see, I just pull out whatever meat. Sometimes both sides come. This time they didn't. They didn't come out together. So I'm going to come to the other side and pull this part of the joint out. They usually come out together on one side or the other, but it didn't. Some of this is just trial by error, picking and poking, and some of it just comes sliding right out. I'm going to go right more into the knuckle because it seems to be hanging on a little bit. And break it open some more. It isn't pretty all the time, but I love lobster so much that I just, it's worth the work, I say. And I just keep kind of pulling at it right here. It's not, the rest of the lobster is not anywhere near as, I guess I should have started on some easier spots. You wouldn't think that the whole lobster is as hard as this one little joint is. I feel bad that I started here now. And there, it usually comes out in one slide, so I'm kind of frustrated. So here's the bands, and you just pull them off. Usually any water. The thing I like about steaming now is when you cook them in boiling, a lot of water comes out because water gets into the lobster. Steaming them, it's minimal amount of liquid that gets in there now. You can see there's some, 9 times out of 10 it pulls out, but it didn't, of course, this time because I'm trying to show you. So I just used my pick to go in and pull it. And now here's the other half of the claw. There you go. As you can see, that pretty much pulled out intact, so I could just put that right there. That claw is done. And again, here's your other one. The legs, by the way, I apologize for the legs already being off. The legs are kind of a sweet little delicacy. If you pull them off and you work from the top joint back, you get some sweet lobster meat all the way. James doesn't care for lobster like this, but he loves to eat the legs, and he ate just about all of our legs today, so here we go. We're gonna pull this off again here at this. I'm gonna actually do it here because this one is picky pokey and hurting my fingers. And in doing so, I was able to pull it apart. See how that came intact this time? That totally came intact, so there's nothing left in there. I'm gonna pull it apart one more time here at this joint. You can see the joint worked out better this time than it did last time because I broke it in two instead of leaving it in one. I don't know if you're able to see what I'm doing. See how that slid off in one? So this side came out much better. This joint isn't even completely finished yet because I might as well finish it up. If you do go in a tough spot like this, just hit the crackers one more time like I just did and crack it open, and there it is. This is the one I had left behind before. Completely empty. And we're going to go like this again. And again, it did not hang on to that one, so I'm going to go in with my guy here and pull this one out. Lobster is so much fun. So what we've got left here, we have some corn that we see, boiled corn today. We had corn on the cob. I've got some of that left over, and this lobster, and then of course we have some of the shrimp and stuff from the other night. So I am going to make a a seafood chowder, which is fabulous. This opened up in a weird way this time. Usually it comes out in one whole piece that you saw there. So this is completely unusual to have it break apart like this. I usually just snap it, and as you could see last time, but for some reason I can see that this is, hey, look, so this one feels like it might have been boiled just a little too long, because see, it's clinging to and that never happens. So this is a perfect example of one that I think it might have been on the bottom and close to the water. I think it boiled a little too long, so that's why it's clinging on. It should not cling on like it's doing. So let's just break this half. Break it open like this. Yeah, see how it's clinging to the wall? I'm pretty sure this one got boiled just a little too long. So there we go. So I'm going to be peeling this right off of here. Oops, this has a little shell stuck to it. There we are. And I do take every piece I can get, because even the smallest piece, especially in a chowder, it's fantastic. I can see now this is a smidge dry, so this one did get, just from this clinging to the wall and that, it did get boiled just a smidge too long. But that's okay, it's still good. It's just, that's the example of what I was trying to show you not to do before. Break it off right here where the tail is and the rib cage. I call it the rib cage. I don't know what you really call it. You can see all the legs are gone. And then I just take normally a regular fork or a knife, and I just, usually these are gone. You don't go up that far. And you just kind of break it open a little like this, and break it open with your hands. Once you get enough of it, you just grip it right here at the top, and should, but this one's been boiling too long. It should not, it should pull, but it did pull. Now you can see the middle tail here, the middle fins right here. I can guarantee you there's fin right here on this one. And I can guarantee you there's fin on this last one right here. And 9 times out of 10, there's none on these in-between ones. And sure enough, there's not anything on the two in between. Nope. And this fin is this one right here. So you're done with this piece now. And it's kind of a good example because it did show you that there was a little bit of poo in here. So I just washed that off myself. I go ahead and wash it right off. And so there, that one's cleaned. And a lot of the time you'll see red in here. That's okay. That is because it's a female. And so, yeah, you got to get that out. There isn't any in this one. This one just has a little bit of poo. So a lot of people are not offended by that, and they just go ahead and eat it. Myself, I can't make myself do it. I always have to wash it off. I always have to get that off of there. When it's hot, you just, when it's hot in that spot, you just peel it back with your finger because it's hot. But this one's been cooked for a while and it's cold, so that's why I had to wash it at the sink. Actually, there's even this little piece in here I'm going to take out. See how it's down into here? I'm going to go all the way down. Again, like when it's hot, you'll just take your thumb or your finger and just peel it straight down through here, and it'll just come right off, and then you just throw it away with the rest of your stuff like that. Otherwise, but with cold like this, it clings harder, of course, because everything's cold. And there you go. Your lobster has been reduced down to this one container, which we're going to add to our chowder. So, as easy as that, my friends, that is how you crack open a lobster and enjoy the delicacy of it. There are also some, years ago, I had a friend that used to take the tails. He'd only use the tails, none of the rest of the lobster, and he would slit open the tail, and he would stuff it with crab meat stuffing and bake it in the oven. I don't know the temperature, and there is a recipe to that crab stuffing. I'd have to find it, so if you guys were ever interested in that, let me know, and I could probably find it, I'm sure. It's just been years since I've seen it done like that. So anyways, there you go. It's that easy. I hope you all had an amazing Mother's Day. The next thing I want to make for you is I want to get that angel food cake made, a homemade angel food cake. Because yeah, it's easy to buy a box homemade angel food cake, and you just do the beating so many times, because in the flakes in that powder is your egg yolk, but it's dried into the powder with the flour and everything else. You don't add any eggs to them. This, we're going to start out with egg whites, and we're going to go right from a real recipe right into a real angel food cake. And I was trying to think of some of the cakes you guys might want, because you said, oh, we can't buy cake mix, and we can't buy brownie mix, and we can't buy... So I was thinking, well, why don't we just take a good challenge right off? We'll do an angel food cake, because everybody loves it. And if you buy it in the pre-made one in the store, I think it's $6.99 now. It's up there in price. You can make one for a fraction of that price. And then you can go right ahead, and I do the maple frosting, but I don't frost it. I keep it in a separate dish, so as I cut my maple, as I cut my cake into slices to serve, I will do a huge pool of the maple frosting on top of it, so that with their fork, they move it around on the cake. I also put strawberries on there sometimes. I also will melt chocolate and drizzle chocolate over both the angel food cake. Remember, this is only when you're serving it. You don't leave it over there all the time because you don't want it to be mushy. So when I'm serving it, I slice the cake, and I will drizzle chocolate that I've melted, and then put the maple frosting on it. Or you can do homemade whipped cream, or you could do it with ice cream. So when we do that cake, we'll discuss all those fun options. But for now, I hope you had a great Mother's Day. I hope you try having fun with lobster. It's a really nice treat, and it's a fortune to have at the restaurants, but it's really not that bad if you're doing it yourself at home. So anyways, thank you for watching. Bye.